traveler.
Hello.
Paimon. It's been a long time.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Genshin Impact, where today we are going to go ahead and do a character story. So, I don't know if you're going to know, but maybe you will know the story, but we are going to go ahead and see what can we find out about this character. So let's go out and hang out with them. This is not the hang event, this is their story arc.
Oh, hey, Hoishin. Long time no see. Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like
Makes it
Ganyu,
much easier.
better all the time. But I've been feeling distracted at work lately. I just feel constantly agitated.
Why? Something happened in her work then, right?
It's a long story.
Oh.
But my father, he's thinking of stepping down from the tianshu position due to health issues.
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Health issues,
Nothing
Paimon?
specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's just increasingly low on energy these days.
Is he eating?
He's always
correctly?
said old age comes for us all in the end. Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional watching it happen to him. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House.
Oh.
Why don't you come pay him a visit with me?
Okay.
He seems very fond of you, too. I'm sure chatting with you will make him very happy.
We could tell him some of our
Sure,
adventures.
let's go. Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
Hello, good sir.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea?
A fresh pot, nice and hot. Oh my goodness.
I heard that you've been traveling
There you
all
go,
over
talk
the
about
place
adventures.
recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure story.
Sure. First, is everything all right?
Hoishin told you, didn't she?
No. We can
Don't
tell.
worry. I'm quite all right.
All right.
It's just the years gradually catching up with me.
The
As I
downside of
grow
human
older,
life.
I'm starting to find that
Don't you want to be
with
like an
many
elf?
things,
They live for
though
thousands
the
of
mind
years.
is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels. I am still very much in good standing as the tianshu today. Nevertheless,
Something could
I
be going
wish
wrong.
to pass on the position
Unless
before
that's
my
his
mental
excuse to
acuity
retire.
begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Pretty difficult.
Oh, well, you see, the tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning,
That's fine.
giving advice. So a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other
Yeah, vote.
Qixing appoint them?
That's pretty cool.
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer.
That's
In
it.
fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken.
Yeah,
I thought it
Paimon.
might take you a little longer than this to
Don't you
forget
ever
all
hang
about
out with
me.
her?
It's Yelan!
Mm-hmm.
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next tianshu.
Cool.
Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think?
It's up to you, Paimon. I'm not.
I don't think so too.
Just
It
decline
can't be a bad thing
her
to be
offer.
on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety, too. Don't you think I might make a good tianshu?
Oh, I thought
Yelan,
she
you want
was
to be the next tianshu?
the candidate.
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
You got my vote.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead.
All right.
Meet me on the first floor when you're ready.
Got
Until
it, bud.
then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment,
Whoa.
this round's on the house. You're all set?
She just bought this place? Yes.
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Someone sapped it all.
It may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi.
Never heard of any of those
Qinwei
3
is a
yet.
wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. And Zhi is focused on study
And it might be
travel.
the second one, I'm guessing.
Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Oh, okay.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Qualifications.
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We
All
can't
right.
afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Don't worry, you can count on us.
Sore.
Oh,
What is wrong with this assessment officer?
You
This
should
is a
sit down.
huge occasion and I don't even get a chair.
that's
I've
why
dealt
they're
with
probably-
all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for
They
an
did this on
appointment.
purpose.
Oh, I mean,
Oh?
I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept
He
the
looks
way
very
things are,
strict.
you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
This guy's really strict.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process.
Okay.
I've split it into
Easy?
2 stages. Current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first
Face-to-face is
stage,
very difficult.
candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person.
Pressure's on.
Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow.
That's a
One of them
lot.
is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto.
Hopefully they're
Failing
not
the
lying.
occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get
Oh.
a first impression of what each person's proposing.
Okay.
I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done. Finished, huh? What did you think?
Oh, I forgot to turn off autoplay, so I couldn't read it all.
Everyone took it
Mm-hmm.
Of course they did.
I might be in trouble.
They have the chance to be picked as the new tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets.
That's true.
That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you?
Whoa.
I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces.
Isn't that a
I
good
trust
thing?
you've read through my manifesto. I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about.
Thank you.
With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, is it my turn?
I'm pretty sure, bud.
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months.
Okay.
And 3 days.
Okay.
In that time, I've handled 2,347 cases.
Oh my goodness.
I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in 16 days. My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
That's okay.
You know
they're
what?
behind the scenes
Let's
too,
leave the
right?
self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Good day, sir.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous.
That's okay.
What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question.
Hopefully
I
you can
completely
answer
understand
it.
where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
A win-win.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Are you sure? Usually
Nice
they would
answer.
say that,
All
but
right,
when
next
it comes
question.
time to come, they actually change their mind.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and he was just a pleasure
I
to
don't know,
listen
Paimon.
to.
I don't know.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Chenwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his
But no one wants to
manifesto,
talk
which
to him.
effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's
But
meticulous in
can't
his
talk
work,
to
very
others.
detail-oriented. But he and Chenwei are otherwise polar opposites. Minghua is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more.
Nice,
You're
Paimon.
good at this, Yelan.
Last but not least, Jur-E. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat.
But
The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Jur-E take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great.
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
oh my goodness.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But
So that's why they got
Shen
to know
went
each
on
other a
to
little
focus
bit.
on his business, and Mingbo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Juri was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa. So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Mingbo came to my attention in the course of my work. And as for Juri, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing.
Ooh, bonding while
Gradually,
fishing.
as we got to know each other, we
Good
started
talk.
discussing all sorts of topics.
Is that
Juri came from a
good,
poor family.
or is
and
it
his
to
parents
get your
died when
attention?
he was very young.
Hmm.
But he was a gifted student and a fast learner.
That's
He
good.
reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on.
Okay, wait.
Quite.
Let's say
And
family.
now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see, but it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
Unless you're immortal.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me.
Mm-hmm.
You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and
But
spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing.
sitting at a table,
Going
drinking
fishing
coffee.
whenever I feel like it.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the
It's
time.
nice and relaxing. Only if you
And
catch a
freshly
fish, though.
caught fish,
Sometimes you don't catch any
they
fish.
make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Juri purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Juri always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of these makes the soup taste even more wonderful. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
I don't trust this now. It's getting too close. Something is up.
Oh,
That's why I'm
can
making
Paimon
all.
come next time too? Paimon really wants to try
Because he said
it.
he's losing his energy.
Well,
now
let's
he's
get
mentioning
back to the
food.
matter at hand.
So something
Uncle
is
Tien,
going on. It has
we've
to be.
reported back. Do you have a verdict?
Mm-hmm. I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision only after a thorough review of each candidate's talents and capabilities. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on,
Something
let's
is
go
going
talk
on
somewhere
here.
else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Jerry, right?
I don't know. Something's going on. It's just me. It's just personal experience. Every time we deal with any of these stories, there's something going on in the background. And this one sounds too good to be true.
His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy.
There
Let's
you
not
go.
rush.
There we
There's
go.
no time limit for this assessment.
Background check. Background check.
So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice.
There you go.
Things are not always as they appear. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath
Like an
many
onion.
layers of deception.
Many layers.
You have to get information through many
That's
different
from Shrek.
channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Up and center. Whoa. What the?
Lady
Where-
Yelan, what are your orders?
Where did these two come from?
Who are they? Where did they come from?
I know, right?
Did they
5-1.
scare you? These
Yes.
two are Wenyuan and Shanghua.
Good
they
day,
work for me.
sirs.
As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required.
Okay.
Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth.
Hello.
And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
Sick?
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't
Oh
swim.
my goodness. He's
Nothing
quite
can take
seasick.
that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
Something is up. They're
So
planning
what
something.
about Jerry?
That's us, right?
Zhi, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves.
Nothing will escape
Let's
us.
go to the docks first.
Yeah,
Lots of people passing through there.
that's
You
true.
can find out all
Every day,
kinds of things.
trading, walking.
If we're looking for
chilling.
information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He
Genius,
does
Paimon.
business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Let's go.
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on,
a
hear
small
me
profit?
out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsettias ever.
What?
You won't find
Sweet.
anyone who disputes that. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
I smell a lie.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I
Okay.
haven't responded yet.
Go ahead.
If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants that.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your
Oh,
asking
oh
price.
my
I'll take
goodness.
all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life. Oh, what are you doing here?
Hello.
And to be clear, these Sunsettias are mine. I got to them first.
right,
Don't get
alright.
any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Jerry. Have you heard of him before?
Jerry? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family. He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boutique.
He sounds like a decent man. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Paimon, that's only one person.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you?
I don't think I am.
Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
What?
That's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Okay.
Where?
Well, I don't see him.
It's him, all right.
Whoa.
Looks like he's chatting with Yelan. Come on, let's follow them and listen in.
All right.
Try not to let him see you.
Sneaking.
We want this information to be
Sometimes
as
I fail
truthful as
this.
possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
Oh, you were looking to buy a wineware set?
What?
Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
He didn't even answer her. Oh, that's so rude.
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very
my
thoughtful
goodness.
of you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
I was really close.
Thank you very much, Miss Yelan.
Whoa, that's weird. Why would they walk away and
It's my
thank
pleasure,
you like
Mr.
that?
Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me. Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan?
Nope.
Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
I think she thinks he's hiding pretty good.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
All right.
Do we have to?
Paimon, you can stay if you want.
Wait.
I'm really intrigued on
You're
him.
not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianshu yourself, are you?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How
Paimon.
does that sound?
Bing, bing, bing.
Will?
I knew it.
Come on! Off to the South Wharf
She
we
is
go!
too easy.
Wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Yes. I buy them all the
Let's see
time.
what Uncle Soon has to say.
Welcome. What would
Hello.
you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh.
We're actually members
planning
of
to buy
the
some tuna.
Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Juri, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to
Oh,
have
her
heard of
eyes are
him?
beautiful.
Whoa.
Teal.
Yelan made up a
Paimon,
whole
you can't say
fake
it right in front of
identity
him.
without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not
Like that
terrible,
big
but
tuna's head?
equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so...
Alright.
Why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
We're never coming back.
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Alright.
Here to buy some fish? It's
No,
300 for one or 3 for 1,000.
Wait, what?
You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research.
Uh-oh.
We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything
3
illegal.
for 1,000.
Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Jur-E who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about this?
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
What do you mean?
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him.
Alcoholic father?
He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. And he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
Very interesting now.
Don't tell him I said that.
No problem.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, thank you.
Not a problem.
Don't worry
and
about your
just
prices.
for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
It's 3-4
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. Okay, let's keep going.
Got it.
Hey, it's you guys.
Hello.
Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah.
Honored to meet you.
Honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Everything from him.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course. We also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's lying to a kid.
Don't worry, Paimon. It's a white lie.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days?
These days?
I've heard many tales of Jur-E. For example,
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Probably
because
okay.
it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about Jur-E in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
I don't trust him now.
Just as I thought.
I don't trust him at all now.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, Just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Well, what's going on here?
Definitely.
Great. So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
No, you keep them, you keep them.
Certainly.
That's your candy.
You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Yes.
Strange? What was strange
Paimon, were you paying attention?
Ji seems to have a great reputation.
Oh
Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him too.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from?
2 months?
It almost seems too good to be true.
Something's happening in the background.
Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's a little over the top, if you ask me. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would expect from any normal person. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
When you put it like that, it is kinda strange.
Yep.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I thought.
The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling,
so he probably made a
or
deal
paying
with
off
somebody
debts.
then.
I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign. Right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixi.
A favor for a favor.
That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do?
Find out who.
Even if we ask Juri about
He's not going to admit it. We're going to have to find him.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment?
Yes.
Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues. Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's manifesto.
I'll make sure to stop the autoplay so I can read
Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea House.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers!
Little? He's quite tall.
If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
This guy's good.
Don't drag this out.
Oh,
just tell us your findings.
I want to know any secrets.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Tianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him.
Okay.
The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Tianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Ooh, that's nice.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Tianwei's accounts are open to the public.
Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets.
Oh, he doesn't care no more.
It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
That's awesome.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora, but instead...
to validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back!
Oh.
Huh? Ah, how come you're here?
He's very quick.
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the competition. Well, when you're the competition, at
You're missing one more.
Whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you. Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating Mingbua.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers.
Okay.
But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him.
He has to get to know
On the
you
whole,
first.
the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
Fine details.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbua at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the Ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented.
That's trusted.
People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the Ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
Whoa. That's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah! So that's what you meant by that.
Oh my goodness.
I'm starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit left.
That's Paimon's part.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries.
That
the
mining
only one
one
that
for
strikes
me.
me as a little unusual is the Tianshu Pool redevelopment plan. Tianshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Tianshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
But...
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable.
Waste of
The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special kind of explosive. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems out of step with the rest of his plans. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions.
Yeah, why would that be in this plan, though?
Did you...
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything
Yes.
similar in our half of the manifesto?
Paimon, don't you remember?
Oh yeah! Zhi-Yi said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable projects come up.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer.
Yep.
So Zhi-Yi wants the Blackcliff
get all
Forge
the
to
money.
excavate the treasure of Tianshu Pool.
Dude, I mean, treasure.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Zhi-Yi's secret supporter?
We have to find out. We need
No,
proof.
not likely.
We need
I've
proof.
looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any powerful factions at present.
Someone
they do
could be
possess
working
some
there.
specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like this. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Find something new.
Let's see who's on there. Nothing of note happened today. Nothing of note happened today. Payday. 3 new recruits joined. Can't believe people are willing to join us at a time like this. One of the newcomers is very skilled. He got made the team leader. Nothing of note happened today.
What's this?
Team leader?
A diary?
Yep.
From the back, it looks like a ledger, but it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think?
Newcomers, 3 of them.
These newcomers.
One of them became a leader already.
You think they're suspicious?
Maybe they're going to steal the explosive.
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Tianshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground.
Take everything.
Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jury recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure.
Yep.
So, who's really behind all this?
We gotta dig deeper.
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker over there for now.
Yeah, he's watching me fall.
Excuse us, we want to ask you about the newcomers.
Uh-oh.
You want them to teach you or something?
What?
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably fast. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them.
Suspicious.
I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
Where?
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife.
That's a very
I'm guessing
long
it's a
walk.
long trip to the nearest tavern.
You got that right. They tell me they go
I
all
don't
the way
think
back
so.
to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wanmin Restaurant.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again right away.
Don't you think it's obvious?
Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
That'd be way too tiring.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else.
All right.
Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager they've been going to intelligence updates.
There's probably like a secret
Good thing
hideout.
it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints.
Oh.
I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and try our luck.
Okay.
The footprints stop here.
Right beside Liyue.
But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house.
Oh, really? Hello? Anyone here? Alright, they're probably hiding some stuff. Mud? These traps that were likely made by bamboo mat. It means someone slept here. But the bamboo mat is nowhere to be seen now. They lit a fire. A fire that burned out. Something was burned here not long ago. It looks like there had been a fight here. Whoa, but it's hard to say for certain. There's work of a professional, but who? You find a fresh fruit pit in a pile of leaves. It seems someone was here recently, but you can't find any more clues.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But all the evidence has been destroyed.
That's smart of them.
Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
I don't know, Paimon.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible. I've checked. All the paper's been burned.
We'll have to
There's
come
only
back.
ash left now.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge?
Or-
They've gotta go back there sooner or later.
Or hide out here.
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysteriously abandoned now. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation off course.
Darn! Guess this is where our trail runs cold.
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence.
Yep.
We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in.
Fish? Food?
Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really?
I know, right? I can't smell a thing.
I can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
Yeah, I smell something really beautiful.
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing.
That's awesome.
When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind.
Fatui? Can't be Fatui. Is it Shaznaya?
Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone with. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with. I can plan our next move.
What am I supposed to do?
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
What?
Who are you?
The third member.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague.
The one in the ocean.
I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out to sea to ask around. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Black Cliff Forge when he got back.
But he was
If there'd
scared.
been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed.
Oh, you ran all the way over here.
I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard.
Oh my
Fortunately,
goodness.
someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
What? That's news to me.
Wait.
No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you,
Something is going
I spoke
on
to
here.
every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
That recipe is poisoning him, maybe?
Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
You know, fish in
Nothing.
a soup.
Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions?
Paimon, help me. Let's see. Should we tell them, or maybe when they meet? Or no, maybe tail.
Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Because we can't keep following him.
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Darn.
Okay, so tailing's out.
So we had to catch him red-handed.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Alright.
Groundwork?
Yes, groundwork, like working on the ground.
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially when he thinks he's about to win. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next.
Go to the client or the helper.
Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the show.
Got it. Alrighty everyone, I am going to end the video there. Join me next time where we will discover who is behind, or actually not behind, but who is he working with. But for now, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.